Hello and welcome to another IELTS speaking practice video by Johnny. And in this video, well, we have only 3 students today, but they are doing their regular speaking practice anyway. It doesn't matter as long as there are like at least 3 people coming, and we will do it. Okay, so class, let's go to part 1 first, and we will do sky and stars. Have we done this one before? Skies and stars?
Not yet.
This is difficult. Skies and stars. Okay, now let's do it then. Mr. Young, please, do you like to look at the sky?
Yeah, I love to look at the sky because usually at night
Because what?
there are clouds. Because cloud in the night is really beautiful.
Say again, I can't hear you well. Okay, try again. Because what? Because of what?
The night, because the cloud at night is really beautiful and it changes. It sometimes look really lovely.
It can look very what?
Lovely.
Lovely.
The bông. Yeah.
Exactly. So how about you, Tao? Do you like to look at the sky?
Yeah, definitely. I really like look at the sky because in the sky, there are many stars, and it's so beautiful and that's so beautiful at night. And I feel satisfied and comfortable when
You feel satisfied, right?
Yeah.
Mãn nguyện. I feel satisfied. Okay, so do you prefer the sky in the morning or the sky at night, Miss Thảo?
For me, I think I prefer to see the sky at night because in the sky in the morning it's really mainly sunny and is very harmful, and it's very harmful for my eyes.
Harmful.
So
It's really harmful. It's really harmful for my eyes.
It's really harmful for my eyes, so I really don't like the sky in the morning, but at night it depending the weather in that day. If that day the sky kiểu trời trong á thì mình nói sao này?
The sky is really clear. The sky is really clear. When the sky is really clear and I can see the stars. Okay, how about you, Miss Van? Do you prefer the sky in the morning or the sky at night?
I prefer the sky in the morning than at night, because in the sunny day, and the sky is clear.
On sunny day, actually, on sunny days.
On sunny
because
days,
we say on Wednesday, on Monday, on Tuesday. So on the days. So on the days, yeah.
Okay. On sunny days.
Yes.
And the sky is clear, so I can see many clouds, which would create many strange images, and sometimes I have a chance. When I have free time, I usually look at the sky and look up to the sky and see the clouds flow in từ từ chậm chạp Slowly.
And see the
Slowly.
sky and see the cloud. Actually, it's the cloud that moves slowly. And see
That
the
moves
cloud
what?
moving, and see this cloud. And see the cloud moving slowly.
Okay, and
Well,
it makes
but
me
these days we are
refresh.
too busy to do that, don't you think?
You I mean, I agree that we all have busy days, but you have some time to drink waters and have a little break. Just about 5 minutes is okay. Just give yourself time to
Can you speak clearly,
look.
please? Can you speak clearly? Nói rõ ràng các bạn. Try to speak clearly. Because it doesn't sound clear enough. Nó nghe không có rõ, đủ rõ. Please, can you try again? Speak clearly.
Okay, I agree that we all have busy days nowadays, but we will have about many breaks, just about 5 minutes, and that's enough time for you to looking around. And when you look up to the sky, it will make your mind fresher.
Okay, so can you see the moon and the skies? Sorry, can you see the moon and stars at night where you live?
Oh yes, it's really clear at my place because there's not much skyscraper, so I can clearly see the moon.
Okay.
And usually full moon time, it is really shine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, you can see clearly the moon, but how about the stars at night?
I cannot see the star. I just
Right. Is it
sometimes
because
see
of
the star.
pollution? Is it because of the pollution in the city or something?
Yeah, I think it's one because of the pollution of the cities, and one is the light of the city, so I cannot see it. Because, yeah, I think so. Yeah, just sometimes saw a star, a really shiny star, just one.
Only once, right? So
Yeah.
when we talk about sky and stars, we have to talk about traveling to the outer space. So we learned this topic before. Mình học cái chủ đề về vũ trụ rồi. So Thảo, please. Are there any good places to look at the sky where you live?
Yes. Yes. The place where I live, there are many good places. There are many good places to look at the sky, such as a field, and in kiểu giống như những con đường vắng đó thầy.
And on the streets where on uncrowded street. We have crowded streets, so we will have uncrowded streets, or we can say on quiet and on quiet streets. Quiet means like it's really not noisy at all. It's really quiet on quiet streets or uncrowded streets. You can see look at the sky where you live. Okay.
Yeah. On quiet street, but for me,
Em phải phát âm rõ ràng. Trời ơi, em đã bị dính cái vụ mà intonation không ổn rồi, nên đã nghe mệt rồi. Em còn phải phát âm cho cố cho rõ ra. Try to pronounce everything clearly. You already have a very monotonous accent already. Try again. Now, are there any good places to look at the sky where you live?
The places where I live, there are many good to look at the sky, such as a field and on the quiet
streets. Let's just say on quiet streets.
on the quiet street, but I usually
Quiet or quiet is okay too. But try to pronounce everything clearly. Phải nói rõ ràng ta mới hiểu được em đang nói cái gì nha. You have to pronounce everything clearly. Now, so Thảo, would you like to travel to outer space? Remember, outer space, there's no the or the before that, okay? Vũ trụ. Người ta không có nói là cái vũ trụ, triết vũ trụ nha. So there's no the before that. Không có mạo từ giờ đằng trước nha. So would you like to travel to outer space?
I think travel to outer space, that is a interesting activity, and I really want to experience that in my life. I feel when I travel to outer space, I can overcome zero gravity, and I can see the Earth.
The Earth. I can see the Earth.
I can see the Earth.
Or you can say Earth without the. You can see Earth from above. Cái chữ trái đất nó không có chiếc trái đất, con trái đất hay là cái trái đất cả. So không mạo từ. There's no the before that. So let's just say I can see Earth from the sky. Yes.
I can see Earth from a sky, and I also can see many stars.
Many what?
I can see the star surrounding Earth.
I can see the stars around the Earth. Yes.
Around the Earth, and
Okay. Now, so Miss Van, how about you? Would you like to travel to outer space?
No, actually not.
No.
Yes.
You have to say no. You have to say no. Phải nói no mới đúng nha.
No, I don't. No, I don't. I'm afraid of the height. I'm afraid of the height. So whenever I am in a higher place, I will be scared and chóng mặt hả thầy? Cái gì nữa?
I feel dizzy.
Dizzy.
I feel dizzy.
Always scared and dizzy.
I feel dizzy and okay, how about the oxygen? Oxygen, food, supplies, friends, people. Are there many people there on outer space? What do you think? So, Miss Van, can you imagine what it would be like to travel to outer space?
You mean the life?
Yes. What it would be like to travel to outer space? Can you imagine what it would be like? Like how life would be if you travel to outer space. Can you survive there easily? Something like that?
I think that we can't live in other planets because of different conditions like the atmosphere, the temperature.
We learned this one already. Weightlessness. About how
gravity.
To travel to outer space. We have satellite. I think satellite would moment. Satellites. I think satellite, yeah. And we have the planets, the comets, things are like that on the outer space. But to travel at outer space, we need training and we need a lot of money. Do you remember that? We learned that lesson before, Miss One. Mình học hai lần rồi nha. Yeah.
Ý là thầy đang nói về cái gì thầy? Thì em nói rồi đó, đúng rồi mà.
Thì
Tiếp
cái
theo
quá
là
trình
sao?
đi lên vũ trụ á, nó cần cái gì? Yeah. Mình đã học bài đó 2 lần rồi mà.
Sorry,
Okay.
sorry, that maybe I just forgot.
Of course you forgot it's a difficult topic and many people don't like that topic. So how about you, Young? Can you imagine what it would be like to travel to outer space?
I think the first is the mental health.
Say again.
If I think it's about the health because if I'm strong,
Okay.
if I'm strong and I have how can I say really strong mind, I can go out of space. But there's another problems like oxygen, the lack of oxygen. Um, don't have any people around you. Yeah, just like space out there and scare of some new creatures outside the earth.
We call them aliens.
Yeah,
Alien, người ngoài hành tinh. Right, so that's good, that's good. Thảo, how about you? Can you imagine what it would be like to travel to outer space? Let's talk about how people can get to outer space. They need a lot of money, need preparation, something like that.
For me, actually, I never imagine.
Yes, very good.
I
Rất tốt,
never
rất tốt.
I traveled to outer space because you see, if you want to travel to outer space, you have much money and
You must have a lot of money, yeah.
you have a lot of money, and it's so really expensive for me, and I think that is a
That's something I
dream.
don't really. That's something I have to consider, right? Đó là cái gì đó tao phải cân nhắc. That's
Yes,
something I really have to consider.
that is a and I think the travel to outer space is a experience and it's not important for my life.
That's an
And
experience you would not forget from your life, right?
yes,
Good.
and I think I will travel to outer space when I have a lot of money. After I work, after I hard work.
Okay. Right. Okay. So I think that's good enough. Let's go to part 2 now. Sky and stars. 39, I guess. 39. Okay, let's try this one. Describe a polite person you know. Part 2. Describe a polite person you know. Hãy miêu tả một cái người lịch sự mà các bạn biết. Lịch sự. You should say who he or she is. Người này là người nào vậy? Anh ta cô ta là ai? How you knew him or her. Làm thế nào mình biết cái người này? What he or she is like. Cái người đó tính cách hay là diện mạo, hay là cái người đó nhìn như thế nào? Cái người đó như thế nào á? What he or she is like. Cái người đó như thế nào? So it means what's the personality? What's the personality? What's the character? Cá tính người ta như thế nào? Or what's the appearance? Cái diện mạo thế nào? What they wear? How's their manner? Cái manner là cái cách hành xử như thế nào? The way they behave is a manner. Explain why you think he or she is polite. Giải thích tại sao bạn nghĩ cái người này lại là người lịch sự. And you have part 3 of polite. What's the standard of being polite? Cái chuẩn của chuyện lịch sự là gì? Cái chuẩn của chuyện lịch sự, the standard of being polite. Cái chuẩn của chuyện lịch sự, tức là cái gì thì gọi lịch sự. Like for example, during dating, what is considered as being polite? Trong lúc mà hẹn hò nhau thì cái gì được coi như là lịch sự? For example, you have to be on time, you have to open the door for ladies, mở cửa cho các những quý bà phụ nữ. But absolutely, you don't have to pay for them, of course, because that is not in the standard of being polite. Cái chuyện mà trả tiền giùm cho người ta không có phải là một chuyện standard of being polite nha các bạn. You have to understand that. Hoàn toàn chuyện đó không có liên quan gì đến chuyện là lịch sự cả, mà đó là nó liên quan đến chuyện công bằng. Basically, paying for the others when you date is actually not considered as a standard of being polite, but it is not a fair thing to do. Nó không phải là một cái điều mà fair, không có công bằng. So have to be consider that. Now, so during eating out, khi ăn ngoài thì sao? Eating out, being on time, something like that. And should you ask for permission? Luôn luôn phải hỏi permission. Luôn phải hỏi người ta nếu mà mình muốn cái gì đó, ask for permission. Hỏi sự cho phép người ta. Like for example, if you want to eat the food from another person, you need to ask them. Not like you can just take it, you know. Không phải cứ thích ăn cái gì thì cứ lấy đâu, you know. Oh, I think this one is kicked out because of the internet.
No, she's tired, so she got out.
She says she's so tired, so she wish she can just go to rest early, I say. Now, okay, so that's the standard being polite. What behavior will be regarded as impolite? Cái hành vi nào sẽ được coi như là bất lịch sự? Why? Regarded as impolite. So think about the fact that they are late and they force people to wait for them. Force people to wait for them. Bắt buộc người ta phải chờ họ do đi trễ chẳng hạn. That's impolite. Another thing is to be talkative. To be too talkative, nói quá nhiều, is actually impolite. Because when you try to overtalk someone, try to talk too much, it take away the opportunities of the others to express themselves. It takes away the opportunities of the others to express themselves. Nó lấy đi cái cơ hội của người khác có thể biểu đạt bản thân họ được. Cho nên nó là một cái sự bất lịch sự nếu gặp cái người nói quá nhiều. Like if you see someone being impolite like that, if they talk too much, you don't have to be polite back to them. Mình không cần phải lịch sự trở lại với những người bất lịch sự. Or what other behavior? Think about it. Be creative, class. Hãy ráng cố gắng mà be creative nha. So who are more polite, people from cities or those from the countryside, and why? Người nào lịch sự hơn, những người đến từ thành thị hay là những người đến từ vùng quê? Tại sao? Well, think about the fact that the people from the countryside, they always ask sensitive or personal question. Những câu hỏi cá nhân hoặc là những câu hỏi mà nhạy cảm á. Like for example, when will you get married? Chừng nào con cưới? Something like that. That is a very, very common question that the countryside people often ask, especially the countryside people from Vietnam. Do you have a boyfriend or girlfriend? Con có bạn trai bạn gái chưa? That's the second question. The third question is about the salary. Câu hỏi về salary, về dụ lương tháng nhiêu con? Có bằng con bác không? Oh my god. How much is your salary? Is it a lot? That is a very sensitive question. You should never ask. Or the next question is about relationship with the other people. Like if they ask you about the relationship of you and the other people, that could be very personal as well. Những câu hỏi về mối quan hệ với người khác, người này với người kia, đó là một câu hỏi cá nhân. It's quite personal. Or if you ask questions that people don't feel comfortable sharing. Questions that people don't feel comfortable sharing. Những câu hỏi mà con người ta không có cảm thấy muốn chia sẻ. Đó là những câu hỏi gì các bạn? Like for example, dạo này con được nhiêu điểm? Con được điểm cao không?
Yeah.
Asking about exam result. Yes. Exam results actually not something that people want to share. Or about relationship. Và những mối quan hệ is actually sometimes a lot of people don't want to share that, you know. It's rude. Nó khá là rude.
Yeah.
I think it's really rude though. Okay, now, so how about people from the city? What do they often ask? They could be impolite as well, you know. Like people from the city are often they lead a frantic lifestyle. Họ sống một cuộc đời rất là hối hả luôn á. They lead a frantic lifestyle. So they often hối người khác. They often urge others to do things they want. And that can be impolite as well. Và điều đó rất là bất lịch sự. Hối người ta làm cái gì? Hối người ta làm gì đó rất là bất lịch sự. Think about sales people, you know. Think about sales people, những người mà hay mua bán á. Anh chị mua đi, hối người ta mua. Like sales people often try to persuade people to buy things, and that is impolite. That is impolite. Rất bất lịch sự phải không đâu? Okay. Now. Hello, baby. It's my cat. Okay, so you need to think of situation to compare, you know. The city people are not always more polite than the countryside people, you know. So try to be open-minded. Hãy suy nghĩ thoáng chút xíu, không phải lúc nào người thành phố cũng lịch sự hơn đâu. A lot of people, they live a frantic lifestyle and they cannot bear it when things go slowly, you know. Có nhiều người họ không chịu nổi cái nếp sống mà nó chậm rãi á. Họ sẽ trở nên bất lịch sự. They will become impolite if they cannot bear the slower lifestyle. If people cannot bear a slower pace of life, they can be impolite. They can be impolite, yes. Okay, what do you think make people polite? Bạn nghĩ điều gì làm cho con người ta lịch sự? What do you think make people polite? So think about why people have to be polite. Tại sao con người ta phải lịch sự? Is it to avoid conflict? Để tránh xung đột. Đó là cái lý do mà thường nhất để tránh xung đột thì người ta mới lịch sự. Okay, any other reason? Một số người ta lịch sự là bởi vì họ không có muốn phá vỡ cái mối quan hệ của họ với nhau. Like a lot of people they are polite because they do not wish to destroy relationship. And they still want to keep good relationship, with the others, với những người khác, giữ mối quan hệ tốt với người khác. You need to be polite. So what else? People also say that if you are close to the others, if you are close to someone, you tend to become less polite. Just try to be close to a group of friends and you will see that the way they talk is very impolite to each other, but they joke a lot, you know. Cứ thử thân thiện với những người khác xem, chắc chắn khi mà các bạn thân với ai được đó rồi, các bạn sẽ hết lịch sự ngay thôi, sẽ nói chuyện rất là tục tĩu thôi.
Sure.
So this is a common psychology. Đây là một cái tâm lý bình thường. This is a common psychology. So that's why people in other countries sometimes they tend to be not so close. They are close to you as friends, but they're not too close. Close thôi, thân thôi, nhưng mà không quá thân để mà nó đến cái mức mà nó ugly. It's not too close until the point that people act impolite towards each other, you know. Look at husband and wife. After so many years being with each other, a lot of the time they become extremely impolite toward each other. Những người mà làm vợ chồng chẳng hạn, sau một thời gian ở lâu dài với nhau, nhiều khi họ cực kỳ bất lịch sự với nhau luôn á. So you can give those example as well. Nó gọi là phản ví dụ. Like you can give a completely different situation to the question in order to make your point. Để mà mình đưa ra cái luận điểm thì mình cũng có thể đưa ra một cái ví dụ hoàn toàn khác với lại cái mà cái đề bài nó muốn nói. Ví dụ như là điều gì làm người ta lịch sự thì có thể nói về cái chuyện là nếu mà ở chung với nhau lâu thì bất lịch sự lắm. Cho nên có thể là cái điều làm người ta lịch sự đó là gì? Đó là sự tôn trọng lẫn nhau. So I think if you give like an example of husband and wife to prove the point that if you're too close, the lack of respect will make people impolite. So it means that people are polite when they have respect for each other. When they have respect for each other. Khi con người ta có sự tôn trọng với nhau thì họ mới lịch sự được với nhau nha các bạn. I think that's what I think, but I'm not so sure about you. What's your logic? Okay. Okay, that's all. Let's do it in 2 minutes then. Try it. All right, let's start class. Okay, describe a polite person you know. Who would like to start first? Okay, you first.
Okay. So, this was a stranger on the street. At that time, it was a stranger on the street. So, I know he because while I'm buying coffee, we have a small talk about everything in the.
Oh my God. Just a moment. All right, Mr. Yu, can you say again? Describe a polite person you know. Can you?
Okay, so I met a stranger, a stranger while I'm buying my coffee at a coffee shop. So because I know him quite, what can I say, quite randomly. So we just talk about everything in the social, like social life, like everything social media, every problem. So and
Try to pronounce things correctly.
okay, so he quite polite. Actually, he talk really like slow, but you still can keep how can I say?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you still can keep moving in his stories and how he talk and his voice quite okay, and how he use his word is really soft.
Be careful with those people. They have their own hidden agendas. Just be careful with those people. Hãy cẩn thận mấy người vậy. Anh nói chảy chuốt quá, cẩn thận. Be careful with those people. If they talk so sophisticatedly, if they choose the words carefully or something like that, be careful.
Yeah, I choose the word carefully too.
I know, but a lot of people, there must be a reason behind why they have to do that to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now,
anything
touch.
Else?
Yeah, we don't have anything to keep in touch. So just a normal talk with stranger. Yeah. And I think he's polite because there's no one who talk with me in the social much. I think
okay.
So. Yeah.
All right. So, Ms. Thanh Thảo, please, your turn to describe a polite person you know. Let's try it.
Yeah. Recently, I had a friend, a new person. She is a classmate, and she also a teammate in teammate in my class. In the first impression I saw her, she have a beautiful face, and she really take care from experience to personal. I feel I can feel it, and
Okay, I
I
don't understand the last part. Tôi không hiểu cái đoạn vừa rồi tại vì em quá nhiều. Because you a lot. So try to say that last part again.
cái cái
Hai câu
đoạn
vừa rồi. The last two sentences.
yeah, in the first impression I saw her. She have a beautiful face, and I can see her take care herself from experience to
Himself. Take
her
care of himself.
self.
Take care of
From
himself. I can say take
take
care of, I think I can see him taking care of himself.
take care of himself, from appearance to personal, and she really kind, friendly, with anyone in my class,
Mm-hmm.
and that's and that is a good that is a good reason. That is a reason I really like her.
Okay.
Um, she she often help me in when I when I when I
When I
understand
need
the
help,
lesson in
yes.
my
When I don't
class,
understand the lesson, yeah.
and she also help everyone, and anyone they need. Mm,
It will also help everyone when they need the help. When they need the help, yes.
when they need the help. Yeah,
Okay, so that's
definitely.
why I think she is polite. Cái đó không phải lịch sự mà cái đó là gọi là helpful mới đúng. That is called helpful. I don't think that's called polite. Okay, but anyway, let's go to part 3 of polite. So what's the standard of being polite, Miss Thanh Thảo? Like for
Um,
example, being on time, on a date, or something similar like that.
for me, I think it's not standard of being polite. It's simply people can behavior can good behavior, um,
If people have a good behavior and
and they also help anyone they
they meet,
they need they need help, and and, and they never behavior,
they never behave badly. Be careful,
and
they
they
never behave badly.
and they never behave badly.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Now, so Young, what do you think? What are the standards of being polite? Like, for example, being polite to a waiter, being polite to someone who do a service for you, làm một cái dịch vụ gì đó cho mình.
And
So
so
how do
you
you
just
treat
being
those
polite.
service people, you know?
I think polite is for everybody. If they have same polite effort to us, same polite accent to us, like service.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, mm, yeah, about this, yeah, the service. Mm, there are custom, or maybe as service. Yeah, it's a customer or somebody else in the social. and have a good manner to them is, yeah, is quite good. I think so.
Okay.
Good.
All right. So, what behavior will be regarded as impolite then, Young?
Yeah, I think the most common is not on time.
Not being on time.
Yeah,
Cái
not
chuyện
being on
không có đi
time.
đúng giờ. Not being on time. The most
Not
common
being
is
on
not
time.
being on time.
Not being on time. And in Vietnam, in Vietnam, um, there's a lot of questions that really impolite, like do you have boyfriend, or
Your
some personal
girlfriend,
questions,
yes.
which make the
Which
listeners
makes people
really,
feel
which
uncomfortable to answer, right?
which makes people feel really uncomfortable and upset with it.
Sorry?
Upset with it.
What is that? I don't understand. Affect with it?
Upset.
The effect of it.
Oh, upset because
The what? Affect or
upset.
effect?
Nói cái chữ upset ấy thôi.
I don't understand.
Oh.
Try to pronounce things correctly. And the
So, which really affect to their relationship.
affect
Really,
to chết
they
rồi,
have
and
a
it really
affect really
affects
bad to
their
their
relationship.
relationship.
It really affects their relationship. Không
It
affect
really
to
affect.
nha. Trời ơi,
Okay.
lại dính cái đó nó rồi.
But
Anything else?
I think so.
Okay. Now, so Thảo, what do you think? So what behavior will be regarded as impolite and why?
Dạ. Theo em nghĩ là cô ba trong này có cái bí đúng không? Em nghĩ
Well, think
khoảng là
about the fact that how people on the same table, what do they eat? Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes.
ổn.
All right. Okay, Thảo. Now, what behavior will be regarded as impolite? What do you think?
Yeah. Behavior particularly impolite for me is body shaming or judge someone they don't know them, and then they talk about something is not good, and it's not good, and that is
Like, for example, saying that someone's food is not delicious to a cook, telling a cook that their food is not delicious. That is very impolite. Nói một người đầu bếp rằng thức ăn này không có ngon. That is impolite.
and they also complain something when they not satisfied, when they not satisfied, and they such as if someone not do if someone don't do anything they want, they must really they must complain or talk something bad about them.
Okay, what do you think, Miss Thanh Thảo? So who are more polite, people from cities or those from the countryside, and why?
Actually, the people from cities are those from countryside is not depending. It's not depending in more polite or impolite. Is rely on education.
It rely on. Yes, what does it rely on? It depends on. Yes, what does it depends on?
It depends
Cố lên các
on
bạn. Try harder.
they
Okay, what does it depends on?
educate when they were born and 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 outer environment they live.
It depends on the environment and the educational background. Cái background giáo dục của nhà như thế nào? Like educational background, if their family educate them enough, they would be polite. So what do you think, Young? Who are more polite, people from the cities or those from the countryside, and why?
I think it not depend on the place you live or city nearest the countryside. It depends on how the family educate them to acting with another people, how to being polite with everyone, not like if a children from a polite family who have a well education,
A good education. Who have a good education.
A good education.
Or if they are well educated. If they are well educated. Or if they have a good education.
Oh, okay. So if they
Okay.
have a good education, if the children have a good education, they will always say hello or say thank you.
They will
Sorry.
greet the others,
Yeah.
not ignoring people. They will not ignore people. Không có bơ luôn, giống kiểu không tồn tại đó. It's like that is very very impolite to ignore people, I think. Okay. What else then? So what do you think make people polite, Young? Okay, where is Thảo? She got kicked out again?
Yeah, I think so.
Lần sao thủy nghịch hành lần này hơi bị mệt á. This Mercury retrograde this time is horrible. Okay, so Young, what do you think make people polite?
I think it's how they play with their friends, or maybe how they'll have maybe how they have learning from another people. Because if you learning from a group of bad behavior people,
Okay.
you will acting like them. But if you play with a friend, polite friends, maybe a little bit impolite, but they still have polite in there. You will acting really kind and being
You're
fine with
acting
everything.
kind and polite. Yes, it's true. Okay. So since you are only a person left, I think we can just end the video here. Okay, that's the end of my videos. Please like, share this video with your friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and press on the bell button next to the subscribe button so you can get notified about my new uploads, okay? You can also press follow my Facebook, but please don't add me on Facebook as friends, okay? Cảm ơn các bạn đã theo dõi nha. Các bạn hãy nhấn vào like, chia sẻ video này bạn bè các bạn. Nhấn vào nút đăng ký kênh YouTube mình và nút cái chuông kế bên cạnh để đăng ký kênh đó, để mà các bạn có thể được thông báo về những video mới nha. Các bạn cũng có thể nhấn vào nút theo dõi Facebook mình, nhưng nhớ đừng kết bạn Facebook mình nha. Thank you and see you. Bye.